Welcome back to the Think Strong pod. How are you today?
Very well, highly caffeinated, ready to go.
Not currently sponsored by BGS, but we would love to be. Even though the coffee is a quarter of the price of it is in England. We're going to kick off with some blind ranking.
I'm excited for this because this is new territory.
We'll do one non-fitness related and then we'll do one fitness related.
Okay. Explain the structure before we get
Okay,
into
so we have 5 options and you're going to rank them, first being your like top choice and then 5th last choice. Okay, but you obviously don't know what I'm going to be saying, so you got to try and...
Okay, so you're going to give me one topic at a time.
I'm going to give you one at a time and you've got to rank it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then at the end we'll see.
So I've got to have a bit of foresight.
Yeah. You've got to try and think about what might come. Okay, we're going to start off by blind ranking beers. And by beers, we don't mean the type of beer or the brand of beer. It's going to be situational. Okay. Right, let's begin. Airport beer.
2.
Oh, it's gone high early. Next one, I'm going to caveat it. World Cup beers. Be football or rugby.
I'm actually a bit of a traitor on this one because I think football World Cup beers are actually better than rugby World Cup beers. That is up there as well, though. Do I give up the top spot already? 3.
3. Okay. So we have airport beer at 2. And we have World Cup beer at 3. Holiday beer. First one of the holiday.
A lot of the time that's in the airport.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, when you get there.
That is pretty good, but I don't think it trumps either of those two. So let's go 5.
5.
A
nice.
Reluctant 5.
Okay. Next, after work beer.
It's got to be a 4. In the right scenario, it can be very good. I feel like maybe I'm a little bit out of touch with the after work beer. Yeah, it's been a long time, and even when we were on the tools, I think being focused on training performance stuff, we didn't quite get to enjoy the quench of thirst that after work beer has to offer.
Off to pump iron instead.
Yeah, so due to lack of experience, I would say maybe 4.
Okay, that means you have one left, which is going to be your number 1.
Yeah,
and that is post-match beer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's an arguable case for the number 1 spot. To be fair,
any changes in there? Do you think? So you got number 1 post-match beer, number 2 World Cup beers, number 3 airport beer. Was they the other way around?
I think I said number 3 to start with, which was the first one we said was the airport beer.
Airport beer, yeah. So we got post-match, airport, World Cup beers, after work beer, and then post-match beer. I'd say it's pretty solid ranking.
Yeah.
Considering the circumstances.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe World Cup beers would go up to number 1. Number 2 would maybe be airport. Number 3 post-match, and then the same from there post-work. And then, is it post-work? Can't remember.
Yeah, then the holiday one.
Yeah, I think that's how it would go.
Yeah, nice. Very good. I think the World Cup beer, like it could be number 1, but it could also be last, couldn't it? Because it could be tears beers at the end.
Yeah, it could be crying tears into your beers. Yeah, it depends on where you are in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Second game of the group stages. Normally, first game of the group is horrendous. Normally, second there's like a little bit of redemption, and that's when people.
Quarter-final beers are unbelievable.
Yeah. Equally Euros as well.
Yeah.
Which World Cup is coming soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to...
June? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to fare here with early
Time
mornings.
difference.
Yeah.
Well, half the teams can't go because Trump's banned them.
There's going to be sanctions on World Cup beers.
Yeah. There'll be just no fans there. Apart from British, and that's it. Right, let's go.
Yeah, stop that joke there.
Let's go fitness now. Muscle growth. Blind ranking, kind of importance, 1 to 5.
Okay.
We'll start off with rest days.
I don't want to be boring and just go for like a safe one, which is not going to like push it to in too much of a poignant place. Let's say 4.
4.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay.
If we're talking about actually building muscle.
Yeah. Training close to failure.
1. Yeah.
Optimal nutrition.
3.
3. That leaves us with 2. 6, 12, 25 methods.
Is this gonna get you fitter looking muscles and a snatched waist maybe? Number 5, get down.
Number 5. Muscle growth. Stability.
I mean, it has to be number 4, but it's not a bad one, you know. External stability. Yeah.
Nice. So we went 1, training close to failure.
Yeah.
Rest days was 3.
Yeah.
I believe. Optimal.
Oh no, I think we said rest day was 4.
4.
Yeah.
Optimal nutrition.
3.
3.
What did I say was 2? Did I?
No, you said. I think 2. I think 2 needs to be stability. That was all you had left.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, because obviously 6, 12, 25 was last.
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course. Anyway, that's the end of our blind ranking for the start of today's pod.
I like that as a little segment. That's good.
Little intro.
I feel like that's like a radio show segment.
Yeah. We'll try and fit some more of those in.
We need a caller on line 1. That's what we need next.
So good.
Stick with the radio show's topics.
We're going to move on to one topic that we're kind of just going to go on a bit of a tangent of, but often overlooked part of coaching is like giving people just like general confidence. Whether we're going to go into it, but whether that's like a complete beginner into the gym, complete beginner into like chasing performance, or even somebody that's been training for a long time that probably thinks some things are out of their reach, but you can then get them from like A to B through one good coaching, whether that is like clever programming, the language that you use, the methods that you give to them, or can be whatever, like from an online perspective and from an in-person. We'll dive into that as well. But starting with a beginner, what do you think? Like some things that you've been through with, like, I think like before when you were coaching in person at different gyms, you would have had loads of people that would have just been their first ever time in the gym. What do you think worked and maybe what didn't work as well?
Yeah, so there's plenty of different scenarios that it applies to, right? You've got probably surface level or easiest to kind of pluck from in my mind. You've got limiting beliefs when it comes to being able to move in a certain way, whether that is to achieve a certain position, to squat properly, for example, or then maybe just like the intensity that people can work out. Not to say that I'm taking beginners to, you know, like the absolute death's door when it comes to training, but allowing them to have the confidence to experience meaningful intensity is something that can be satisfying both for a coach and for a client as well. Obviously, at the end of the day, you know that's going to drive some adaptation, which is good. Something that springs to mind, like I said, teaching people to squat. It seems funny sometimes, but everyone thinks that they can just do a squat, when a lot of the time you'll see them performing errors which are actually really easy to fix just with a few small cues. For example, some people might bias breaking at their knee way before they break at the hip, and then everything comes forwards. Likewise, might be the opposite of that. People might do a good morning, break at the hip and barely bend their knees and wonder why they can't get depth. And some small fixes as simple as that. And some things that I would find really satisfying is being able to deliver that in such a concise way that they can understand it straight away, and then the next rep is completely different to the one they just did. It's something that both for them and for yourself is quite a satisfying thing. And not only does that build confidence in themselves, that builds a good amount of confidence in that they have in you as well, as a coach, which is obviously important when you're getting them to do these new things. You're asking them to do things which are challenging. They need to have confidence in you. Otherwise they're not going to trust you.
Yeah, definitely. I think that confidence first comes from that coach-client relationship, right? So you don't know that person at all at the beginning, do you? So you got to build some element of trust. Like in the situation I'm in now, there's a lot of tourists, and I'm met them maybe 30 seconds before. I'm just how are they gonna? Why do they gonna want to listen to me? I met them 30 seconds ago. It's just how do you build that trust and confidence straight away? Which I think me and my teammates or colleagues do really well. But like you said, with simple movements, sometimes that coaching it's really simple if you know what you're looking for, right? And instead of just giving them a load of shit, it's just that one small thing that could be different. I think it just staying on the squat pattern. One thing, some people squat with their positions are quite nice, but their intent is just wrong. They'll always throw themselves into the bottom and then come up slow. I've had so many kind of situations with that at the gym with people that are good, move well, and I'm your movement's great, but just change the intent behind what you're doing. It's come down with control, use that kind of stretch reflex out the bottom, and then come out of the hole nice and fast. And that completely changes how that movement feels for them. You always you see that one quite often. And then because you've said you are moving well, it's just a change of intent. And then straight away you can be how did that feel? And that just reinforces the confidence, because it's 9 times out of 10 it's always going to feel better.
Yeah. I think it's something for a coach as well is to be aware of the multitude of different things that could be better within a movement. Moving safely is great and is essential, but there is more to it a lot of the time. It's about asking yourself, how could that still be slightly better? That's something that's further going to build confidence between coach and client. If someone moves well and they feel like they move well, and then they get this extra piece of information which is it's rooted in legitimate help, it actually makes sense to them as well. That's going to be oh, okay, this person has seen that I move safely, but there's a small thing here which I could actually do to make it even better. I think that's a good confidence builder too.
Yeah, definitely. I've got one note here which sounds a little bit narky, I guess, but it's the easiest way to build confidence is applying common sense to the thought process for progressions. So we were discussing earlier, but I had a situation with a client who I said we're gonna look at your push-ups, and immediate reaction was a bit of panic, oh no, my push-ups are terrible. Da, 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 da. I was no, we're gonna look at an incline push-up first. So the box was 24 inch, and then I was we're gonna do this to practice your position, trunk stability, consistent hand position, and elbow position. And he said to me I've never done this before. The coach normally just tells me to go down on my knees, and I'm applying common sense to how you can progress that movement well with holding good positions is it's not a difficult thing to do, is it? But it's often just overlooked within a class setting. Probably a coach is time bound, they're not thinking about it, but it takes just a couple more seconds to think about what they could do or put something in place that can help them progress a little bit better.
When you understand those basic principles of angles which like either increase or decrease the amount of force going through the working muscles, or like the way you can manipulate the eccentric, or the way you can like for example in a push-up you might perform the eccentric on your feet and then perform the rest on your knees. Just small things like that, where you're just manipulating small principles which are basic, you know, just like we said, the eccentric, the amount of force that is going through something, the tempo, the volume in a certain aspect. You can drive progression without having it being like a surface level progression, whether that's, you know, weight. It doesn't have to be that type of progressive overload all the time. There's plenty of ways around it.
Yeah, I think it's good for people to hear, because like a lot of people will just get given we can use the word scaled, or like a scale or a regression that isn't going to get them any closer to one where they want to get to. And like we're on that kind of confidence element, it's like if they're always given that same regression, like how that's never going to build their confidence to be able to get closer to that goal they have. So it's like, as a coach, like having that forward thinking mindset of like, this is probably going to help them get better.
Yeah.
In that position. Do you know what I mean? Like it could be like, you always see like kipping, people just given like I don't know, whether it's just a midline thing instead, like a V up or whatever. It's like, maybe teach them to have a proper contact point and like kip properly. Or hold a proper hollow and arch position. Do you know what I mean? It's like, always goes back to like the fundamentals, but like it often just gets overlooked, doesn't it?
It does. On the kind of flip side of that, we've spoken about before how sometimes things don't need to change to elicit progress. What you need to do as a coach in that scenario is be articulate with explaining how this is needed. Like, there is no change from your programming this week. You're going to do this again. Your focus is going to be on X, Y, and Z. We need to do this again, like, you know, to drive progress. Sometimes, you know, just the explanation is where the coaching comes in, rather than any changes at all. As we know, too much variation will take away from that desired stimulus as well. Yeah,
definitely. And then when they do implement them cues, like the confidence builds from there. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if you're a coach and you're not, and you're just changing stuff like you said constantly, and nothing's sticking, it's probably the cues that you're giving that person rather than the movement. Do you know what I mean? There's like 1,000 ways that you can coach different like the same movement. Any other like examples of what you've found good within building someone's confidence from a performance standpoint, maybe like leading up to a competition or an event?
I've got a good example. Within the last few weeks, I've had 2 clients which have been going through their first round of online qualifiers that they've ever done, and it's been really good to formulate this process which gives them the absolute most confidence for that, but not so much pressure that they feel as though it's like make or break. What that comes down to is proper preparation, like movement prep, aerobic prep, and then like a barbell primer, and then primer of the rounds of what we're going into a lot of the time. Obviously, if that's, you know, quite a heavy barbell bias workout, you know, if not basically the same structure just without that barbell primer. A whole load of strategy as to what I think, and that comes from talking to them as well and understanding how confident they feel with certain things within those qualifiers, and then also an opportunity to rerun it. Said before how CrossFit, functional fitness, the whole point of it is that it's super varied, and you have to prepare in your best possible way to go into this scenario, which is all of a sudden going to be super specific, and you're going to try and do your absolute best at it, which is cool, and we're going to do that. But especially for someone who is relatively new to it, giving them the opportunity to go and do it again, not feeling like it has to be one and done, is quite effective for people to not only, you know, not crumble on that first one, but also make some huge changes and improvements going into that second one. So I think that's a real confidence booster as well, giving people the opportunity to make adaptation, because like I'm a coach that's been coaching these people for like both of them probably the whole last year. I know their capacity really well. I know what their strengths and weaknesses are, but I still don't know them better than they know themselves.
Yeah.
So there has to be that leeway and that opportunity for them to not only for them but for us together to make adaptations, to change things, to see where things fall apart, and then to put a new plan into place and to give it some again. And the mental aspect of purely just doing a workout again, you know what's coming. You don't get surprised by things as well.
Yeah.
So from that side alone, it's actually really, really good as well.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, like you said, it will build that confidence. One thing that's a big variable, and that is like if you're female, just like your cycle.
Yep.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's like if they're in that part of their cycle where they're not feeling at their best, already their mindset's going to be a little bit different going into that. And then obviously having time to redo is gonna have like allow them to have a bit more confidence going into that, even if they did it like as what they would believe like subpar intensity because of the way they're feeling. They can have confidence going into it again, but only if you've told them that before. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're saying, if that's their one and done, they're already stressing about it, and then they go into it, they don't perform their best, and then it goes from there, doesn't it?
Yeah, and building confidence just by getting those things done where it is kind of a competitive scenario. There is a little bit more pressure just because that's the nature of it. When you then get to a point where it's like, shit, I don't have time this week to do another one, or this has to be one and done because it's last minute. You've built confidence, you've built like experience in the environment. It's not so daunting. Then you can be more likely to go ahead and lay down your best possible performance on the first go. So positive from a lot of different angles when you look at repeats and how you're structuring that stuff, obviously, as well as all the warm-ups, the strategy and the talking through.
I think knowing, like you said, knowing yourself is good as well. I can remember the Open last year when Toby started the workout, and then I think he got to the bar muscle ups and he stopped. It was like 3/4 of the way through, midway through, just started like past that midway point, but he knew that he wasn't going to get what he wanted. So he stopped, and then he just redid the workout, because he knows he has the capacity and the timing that he should be, because he has that awareness himself. Do you know what I mean? But his coach would have probably told him like about that beforehand. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is where you need to be at this point, and if you're not, then it's probably regroup and go again and do it.
That's something that's really hard to do, because once you've got the bit between your teeth and you wanting to push, sometimes to have that mental clarity is like near on impossible. But we actually mentioned it on one of our previous pods where I stopped that workout and was stood next to the fan. That's like one of the few times I've actually managed to see like, oh, I've messed my pacing up like quite badly here. This is just going to be a flogging a dead horse to finish it, and having the maturity to realize that like, you're just gonna deplete yourself to a point where, like, for no good reason, you're better off just doing it again and doing it slightly better.
I think you probably had a better session like the next day anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's just like not letting all those things get to you at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the biggest message with like the confidence thing is like the way that you talk to someone, or the impact that you can have on people, can be really positive. But like, if the wrong thing is said, like you would have probably heard it before, like, my coach told me to do this, with like no kind of nuance behind it. It's always kind of like something that someone's been given, but they haven't told them like why.
Yeah.
And like, that's obviously really important, because like you see it here, like, oh, my coach told me I should have the weight in my heels like all the time. So, yeah, but when you hinge, your toes are off the floor, and then when you squat, like you're not using your quads at all, or do you know what I mean? So like, they'll take stuff and run with it, whereas like in this position, maybe you should have a little bit more weight in the midfield or the back of your heel. But because of this, and this is why. And that builds confidence instead of like, because then they'll come in and then someone else will coach them, and then it's like a bit of mistrust here and there.
Yeah, like building a false sense of security, false sense of confidence if people take what a coach is saying as gospel and just run with it, especially if they've got no nuance, no explanation behind it, because then, you know, it very well, like for someone that has the tendency to come forwards onto their toes, for example, in like a dip for a split jerk or something, someone very well might say, think about pushing a weight into your heels to counteract something. You wouldn't necessarily give someone the cue, you know, from a completely neutral standpoint that they need to have the weight in their heels, but to counteract the natural bias they might have, that might make a lot of sense. But if you're not giving anyone the explanation to go and like for the reason why you're giving them that cue, they might go on and coach someone else, one of their friends, to go and do the same. Yeah.
That's just, it's like, you know, when if you're in a class setting, say for example, I don't know, like maybe when you did like the weightlifting seminar or whatever, when you were back home in that group setting, when it's not one-to-one, if somebody's jumping forward like constantly, it's like jump backwards.
Yeah.
And that will bring them straight. But like you're never going to coach anything in weightlifting saying jump backwards. Do you know what I mean? But like that cue is going to work for them in that scenario. And then you can be like, this is why I told you to do that. But the real reason is like, they're obviously not moving their knees like properly around the bar or keeping the weight centered.
That's something that I have the benefit with coaching people online, is that when I give them that cue, I can say, I wouldn't normally say that to someone, but the reason I'm saying it's because you have the bias of doing X, Y, and Z, and we're trying to counteract that. Whereas sometimes I like in a class environment or where the pace of coaching is a bit faster, people might not always have the time to explain that behind it. So yeah, when I get the chance to, I do try and give a little bit of a nuance as to why I've said it as well.
Yeah, definitely. You see it online. As a female weightlifting coach that says that the power position is like complete nonsense. And then she says that you jump from like the hinged over position, which it's correct. Like you obviously have to move from that position, but you move through the power position to drive the bar vertically. So it's like you're trying to get clicks on Instagram to say like, this is like the position's worthless. But like if somebody can understand that that's where they make contact and extend from, like they're going to weightlift better. But like the nuance of it is like understanding why that's coached in that way for that person. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of like online saying like, this is exactly how like you should do it. Like everybody lifts completely differently.
Yeah.
Just understanding positions and intent and everything within that.
That's a really good example, because like here we've seen some really good lifters. Obviously Sonny Webster comes through, Radon, who we're training with quite regularly. Like the power position, for example, neither of them use it. So if you look at them and then just decipher from their technique that the power position is useless, then you're completely missing out like the scope of people from beginner all the way to world-class elite weightlifter. Because, you know, these guys have been doing it for so long. Yeah, they can put their hips in their perfect position to get the full use of their lower body through every single repetition. You, on the other hand, who like has just learned how to hinge, you know, it's like such a big difference. And for having a process to follow, in my experience, even for people who are up to like quite advanced CrossFitters, helps so much, and it slows things down as well, which is another issue that people have of just like rushing through things so quickly.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not going to say her name, but the woman that I was talking about, she's obviously like performed at a fairly high level herself, Commonwealth Games level, I think. But to say that is so like detrimental. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like you said, both of those people that you mentioned, they don't go into that position, but they move through it and they extend from that position every single time with near on perfection to not miss. And it's like you said, that process would be like you teach the person from there, and then the further along they get on that continuum, you're like, remember the position that you've learned. Now you're going to move through that like with some like fluidity and smoothness, but because they've done what you've told them to do, they understand the position that they're moving through. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like I will still go through that position, but now I've tried to be a little bit more fluid as I go down into that hang position. But now I have the confidence to know like where I'm getting to. But even if I feel off, I'll go back to what I learned because I know that it's going to work.
Yeah, and you can plug and play that same philosophy for so many different things with the Olympic lifts, especially. How many people do you see using a dynamic start where they're sinking their hips and smashing through their start position, and they don't even they've not even taken slack out of the bar, like what you would consider like a really basic cue for people to do when they're deadlifting, like a much more basic movement comparatively to the Ollie lifts, and people are not doing it in the Ollie lifts, which are much more dynamic. There's so many more moving parts, and I do the exact same thing. And if I ever find myself with any inconsistency, I try to reduce that distance between what I might be doing out of habit versus the process, which I know serves me best, and that feeds into coaching as well.
Yeah, and it feeds into that coaching, but the confidence in like people listening to you and understanding what you're telling them. Do you know what I mean? Like there was a guy in our weightlifting class a few months ago now, really nice guy. He has like the fundamental awareness of like what he should be doing, but he's coached by a really, really high level weightlifter I think it was in Sweden or somewhere like that. And I can't remember his name. But every time he started with the barbell, he was like, this, and I was like, why are you starting like that? And he's like, it's a technique that my coach uses. Then like as he would start to push off the floor, he would like then gain tension, and I'm like, you're copying somebody who weightlifts at like the highest level because that works for him. It's like you're staring at the floor.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And he's like yeah, I get it. But it was just like he obviously had no tension in his start position, so he was like hiking, and just crashing the bar off of him.
Was he a good lifter? That's the question.
No.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He wasn't like that good at lifting, but when I told him to like go into the right start position, he could do it.
Yeah.
So he's like choosing not to do it, going off of like a style of someone else, which is like really like. It's like Toma. If you do the Toma step for your split jerk, like she does, like double taps her foot on the floor.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That she's like world champion.
Yeah, it's like if you're lifting significant weights, which is like, not many people, then maybe it's justified, like a certain element of style over technique. But if you're sacrificing technique over style at anything less than a elite level, like there's room for you to improve. Literally, like that's why people study efficiency and technique in such details, because these models, whichever one they are, they're not very far from each other. They work and they offer results. Like
Yes. Goes kind of back to what we discussed in our previous pod about seeing the top level and just trying to copy. You know what I mean?
Exactly that. Yeah. Understanding the process.
Yeah. Okay. Next part of the pod, we're going to move on from confidence and just have a little look forward. Really, big year ahead. We are coming towards the end of February already, which feels like it's gone past in a flash.
Yeah, that would be the CrossFit Open over and done with by the time this is out.
Yeah.
So
So how was your Open?
I felt pretty good in the 0.5th percentile.
Are you looking forward to the Open?
Yeah, should be good. Feel fitter this year aerobically.
That's good.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, I'm ready to be disappointed with week one. Probably will be something boring and hard, which will be a challenge in the heat and humidity, no doubt. But it is what it is. It's CrossFit at the end of the day. But yeah, looking forward to see if anything comes. If any fun things come later on, as well as quarterfinals, which will be back as well.
Are they going to be in person this year?
They'll be online. Yeah. I think normally they stipulate you have to film a copy of your quarterfinal workout, but then I think it's one of those ones where it never really gets watched. Yeah. So
was it last year the guy made it like all the way through? And
Kale Lehman. You can ask Toby Buckland about him. He got exposed at the Mayhem Classic, which I think Toby's actually doing this year. I've seen on his story. So if he gets to go head to head with Kale Lehman, I think that'll be
hopefully
that'll be a milestone.
Hopefully he's practiced a little bit more or trained a bit harder within that year. I do remember that from last year. That's quite funny. I think we were still living together when we watched that, maybe last year.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah,
that's funny. Anything else planned for you this year, like competition wise, or just anything in general, to be honest?
I'm going to Singapore just for a little weekend in a couple of weeks, which will actually be the second week of the Open. So I just want to make sure I do a good score on the Friday, because I leave on the Saturday because I can't be bothered.
There's a couple of places you can train there.
Yeah,
there's a couple of good gyms.
Yeah, I know a few as well. So I might be doing a redo. Depends how well it goes, but. Other than that, not too much, to be honest. Competing here has proven to be like a little bit hard work when it comes to planning it out, because a lot of the time it's a decent trip to do, so it takes a bit of planning out earlier in the year.
That's coming to Indonesia.
Oh, is it? Jakarta
or here?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that'd be good. It's not going to be the one on the ship then.
No, the cruise ship.
Yeah, but to be honest, I'm just gonna give the Open and the quarterfinals a crack, and then kind of see what happens. There's another competition in June in Singapore, Kampung Games, which is Yirin and Shuzi's competition, who I'm good friends with. So check them out if you ever fancy a competition. I think that's June. I think that's going to be their biggest year of that in an arena and everything, so I might get involved with that, and then to be honest, just gonna get out on my enduro bike and enjoy a bit of that freedom, as that's a lot more accessible than competing. And then maybe when I go back to Europe in maybe October time, not 100% sure, try and tie in a competition there. Maybe Marbella Championship, not sure yet.
Oh, yeah. Nice. That'd be
we'll
good.
Have to see.
Is that end of the year normally?
It's first weekend of October, I think. But I have to qualify.
Yeah.
So we'll look at doing qualifiers probably.
That'd be individual or team?
Individual. Yeah.
Individual. Nice. That'd be good.
That's a big maybe, yeah. What about you?
Big change coming.
Oh.
Honestly, training-wise, not competing in anything. Just training. I've had a few bigger things on the horizon. Got a training academy starting next week, which Wells laughed at us about coaching coaches. No. It's like a 4-week immersive in-person course.
Pyramid scheme.
Yeah. Fizzy tea and whatever it is. But yeah, just like 4 weeks with a load of coaches coming to learn how to be kind of more effective, which would be good.
Yeah.
There's like 4 kind of phases of it. First phase is like kind of understanding who they are as a coach and like building confidence within that and understanding how they can have a better impact. Some basic anatomy to begin with that people, one, should know, but also if they don't, they're going to learn, which is great. Week 2 is about control. So like controlling PT session or a group class, or everything that comes with it, safety, enjoyment, control, logistics, whatever it might be. And week 3, a little bit more fun stuff, program design for all the different modalities, weightlifting, CrossFit, high rock, strength and conditioning, bodybuilding, gymnastics with Gen Pop. Then week 4 is like really practical. So like they're going to be coaching the whole time. We'll build like an individual coaching pathway, development pathway for them from what we've seen, and then what they believe they need help with after that first 3 weeks, which would be really good because they have that like level of awareness. And then they'll have like a mock day where they can just practice coaching, and then they'll have a bit of a break in the middle of that week, and then we'll give them the rest of the week. They'll have 3 kind of assessments, multi-choice on the 4 weeks, program design assessment, and then an actual coaching assessment, which is good. Like, do you know what I mean? They're going to be doing practical like every single day for the 4 weeks, and like ultimately even what we spoke about in this, when we're talking about giving clients confidence, this is going to give them like reps and confidence within that, because there's nothing better than like actually doing the thing, is there?
No.
You don't want to be sat in a classroom the whole time.
That's
so
cool.
It's going to be a big 4 weeks for me.
Yeah, it's going to be busy because you're coaching as well, aren't you? Yeah. Now I was going to say it's cool that they're going to have like an individual plan of attack basically after being exposed to some things which they might not have seen before, and then that's going to allow them to kind of recalibrate, look on paper, see what needs to improve, and then have a stab at doing that while they're still there as well. It's
cool. Definitely. I think like even courses that I've done before, maybe you've done, there's not really anything after that gets...
It's the information, and you either take it on board or not, and that's kind of it then, isn't it? Yeah.
So they're going to have like a bit of support post course as well, which will be good. Other than that, I'm leaving Bali.
The Bali chapter is
coming to a close. End of July. Going to be going home for a few weeks, a few weddings, catch up with family,
a few free bars.
Yeah, go back to Ibiza. 10 years on from meeting hats there.
Oh yes. A
little bit of a 10-year anniversary trip there, which will be nice, and then move our whole life to Australia, Gold Coast.
Finally, 6 months.
Only 3 years later.
Yeah, turned 3 years.
Yeah. It will be like pretty much 3 years, because we'll be going at the end of August, kind of start of September. So I think we moved there in October, didn't we?
Yeah. October the 23rd.
Near on 3 years later than it should have been, but excited for a new chapter, starting again.
Yeah.
Got to move all of our shit.
Can you remember how to drive a car?
Not really. Yeah. I got to move all of our stuff from 6 hours away from where we're going to live back home, and then all the way back just 6 hours further on another flight. So.
Just leave it here. Leave it in a bamboo hut somewhere.
Yeah, leave it here and come pick it up.
Bamboo, the tree, not the gym.
Yeah. But yeah, big year ahead, really. A lot of change.
Yeah.
Podcast wise, we're gonna continue the best we can.
Yeah.
I think, like we mentioned before, if one of us is not here, one will take the reins. We'll get guests in. I've been looking for a studio in the GC. So if there is anyone on the Gold Coast that either has the mic or setup that can help, that would be awesome.
Yeah, will probably be a few virtual ones as well.
Yeah.
Providing we get the quality set up and we can just keep pumping, which will be good.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, that's a little look into our future of this year. Anything else you want to add to that, Az?
No, just exciting to see how things develop, and where we end up. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing by the end of this year. Like I said, I'm going back. Gonna renew a visa, but we'll see for how long. Whether I end up back in Bali for another year or not, not sure. Been on a bit of a journey to try and get my Irish passport, which is going to make living in continental Europe, Spain ideally, a little bit easier. So we'll see if that comes through, and that would be cool to have that in the back pocket for
an so easy good
transition.
I think that's actually one thing we could talk about. We see it a lot on social media, about people talking about how Bali isn't all what it seems but it's really through personal experience. People equate Bali to like Canggu and Uluwatu, right? But there's so much more that you can go and see.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I work in person and I work quite a lot, but my fiance has a bit more freedom, and she's like explored loads of. It's like incredible where she's been. Some of the places, like the different islands, the different parts of the north of Bali. So I think, if you are watching one of those Instagram reels or TikToks about traffic, there's more to Bali than, you know what I mean? Just two places.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you get people say like, oh, Bali's not all it seems, in terms of like people's experiences they've only had in Canggu and Uluwatu. Yeah. It's like, yes, on the surface, your statement of Bali not being what it seems is correct, but you have not experienced the full Bali either. I think people only go and value the health and wellness scene or the beaches or the accessibility to restaurants.
It's like their entitlement to like the good situation happening to them. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, why is this not like really good?
Yeah.
So fucking go and make it good for yourself.
Yeah.
Like go travel around, like meet the people. Like the main reason that this place is so good is because like the local people are just fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like their like spirit is like the best, like in any Asian country I've been to. But like you can make something good out of every day here. Do you know what I mean? It's just like people moan about like the visa and that. It's just like the people that live here can probably never leave here.
Yeah. Because
of their like, just because of the wage structure and stuff like that. It's like, have some fucking gratitude to like, if you don't like it, just fuck off.
Yeah, exactly that. And like the local people here could be like, they would have reason to be somewhat like unwelcoming, with the rate of change and stuff. Obviously there's good things that have come from like the massive boom of tourism, like incredible amount of jobs have been created, but on the flip side, a lot of like the natural or the nature has been developed and turned into buildings, villas, clubs, hotels, and things like that, and it's disturbing what was previously quite a basic way of life. So you wouldn't blame them for feeling somewhat displaced because they probably have been, but at the same time there might be people welcoming that. But their personal interaction with a lot of people generally is pretty good, isn't it? Like they're happy to see you and willing to ask you how long you've been in Bali and what your situation is, which is cool.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, I think it's just having the like I said, if you are watching these videos, just take it with a bit of a pinch of salt, because these people just, like you said, just focusing on the negative of their own personal experience.
Yeah, I sometimes laugh when I see people that are like, I'm coming to Bali to network and to do this, and like in my experience with network, like you do meet some people which are doing some cool things, but like unless you've like really got something to offer, like these people they're in that position because they've worked hard and they've put so much time and effort into that thing. I think sometimes people assume that just by proxy of being around certain people they're gonna elevate themselves, and there is an element of truth of that, but the people that are on like that next step are not really in the group of people that you're going to be associating with. And then the people that end up kind of networking with each other, I feel like they never really climb out of that group. No, I could be wrong about that, but I just see the kind of same demographic of people coming to interact with the same demographic again, and it's just like a cycle that repeats itself. And then people sometimes leave with a distaste, like, oh, this didn't work out, or came to Bali for it to be like this amazing network opportunity. It's like that. Yeah, maybe you should have had a bit more of a mindset of get cracking on with your own stuff, creating a routine and experiencing all the things that Bali has to offer from a lifestyle perspective while doing the work, while chasing the goal that you need to, like, and not creating too much leeway for yourself within just thinking that being in the environment is going to take care of everything.
Yeah, I think without that level of discipline, it just chews people up and spits them out.
Yeah.
I mean, from week one, we had a routine.
Yeah.
When we came here, do you know what I mean? We knew what we wanted to do. And like, obviously it's like changed here and there, but there's always been routine within whatever we've been doing. I mean, even we see the same people quite a lot. And like you said, they're in the same groups doing the same things, but a little bit lost.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I mean, also we could maybe talk about some of the less than optimal stuff here, like the reality of being in a kind of less developed place. Like the roads are fucking lethal. Like sometimes there's there's people like just putting them and you at risk for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I don't think there's any driving license fucking prerequisites here whatsoever, if that even exists at all. But sometimes you're taking your life into your own hands, just nip into the shop, and
it's like good and bad in that situation, right? Like when it's like congested, now it's very dangerous. But like when it's not, it's that level of freedom that you would never get like anywhere else. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like
you're always doing a trade-off, aren't you? And it's understandable for a lot of people that like the chap that comes to a close in Bali and dealing with those challenges. If you want to move on to like the next thing, like sometimes it's going to be nicer to not worry about like a fucking moped flying into your side.
One thing I'm looking forward to is just like drinking out of a tap.
It's such a small thing, isn't it?
Such a small thing, but yeah. I mean, like, I guess your immune system would maybe get used to it here if you did drip feed that into, but I've seen some of the water come out of the taps and I'm still against it. Don't want to risk.
I don't think anyone can blame you. I mean, I've brushed my teeth with tap water by accident a few times and I've lived to tell the tale, but it's about as far as it'll go.
I'm not too sure about that. Cool. I think we'll wrap that episode up there. Nice little bit about confidence, giving people confidence through coaching, and then a little look ahead on the rest of 2026, which seems to be flying past. But we'll see you on the next ep. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about us, and we'll have some guests on soon.
Yes.
Peace.